It began on an empty stretch of Georgia highway, a road flanked by trees, summer heat rising in shimmering waves off the asphalt. A family of 3 was on their way home from a long, emotional weekend. A father, a mother, a little girl in the back seat, half asleep, holding on to a stuffed giraffe with tired fingers. The Bennetts had driven through 3 counties to attend a family reunion in Savannah. But they weren't heading home empty. There was someone, in the trunk. And soon, the entire country would know. Darius Bennett, a quiet but sharp man in his early 40s, was behind the wheel of his old, dusty SUV. He wasn't a man easily shaken. He had argued in courtrooms, sat across from corrupt developers, and fought legal battles most men would avoid. But today, he wasn't wearing his attorney's tie. Today, he was just a tired dad. Beside him sat his wife, Imani, a neonatal nurse with the gentlest hands in Atlanta, the kind of woman who could calm a screaming baby with nothing but a hum. In the back seat, their 6-year-old daughter, Naomi, was nodding off with music playing softly from the front speaker. Everything seemed fine. But 20 miles out from their home in Dalton, a pair of flashing red and blue lights appeared in the rearview mirror. And just like that, the atmosphere inside the car shifted. It was a feeling many black families know. That sudden, invisible tension. No one had to say it out loud. They all knew the rules. Darius pulled over carefully, kept his hands visible on the steering wheel, turned off the engine, rolled down the window. A white officer approached, hand already resting near his weapon. His name, Officer Rick Caldwell. Mid-40s. Reputation for being by the book, but never once questioned for being over the line. Until now. Caldwell didn't say why he stopped them. He asked for license and registration with a clipped tone. Darius complied. Polite. Imani tried to smile, but Caldwell wasn't interested in pleasantries. His eyes scanned the car, glanced at the child in the back seat, then shifted toward the rear of the vehicle. "You got anything in the trunk?" he asked abruptly. Darius blinked. "Just bags. Baby supplies." Caldwell narrowed his eyes. "Mind stepping out of the vehicle?" Now, here's where everything starts to twist. Because in that trunk, there was indeed something more than bags. Wrapped in a clean blanket, tucked into a baby car cot, fast asleep, was a newborn. But the baby wasn't hidden out of shame. It wasn't criminal. It was an act of desperation, of protection, of love. You see, earlier that morning, Imani's teenage sister, 19-year-old Alea, had vanished. Just 2 days after giving birth. She'd left a note, scrawled in shaky handwriting. "I'm not okay. I can't do this. Please take care of her." Imani had found the baby alone in her apartment. Wrapped, clean, but crying. She and Darius had rushed over. With no room in the back seat, and the front too hot from the sun, they'd carefully laid the baby in a ventilated, insulated trunk with cooling pads and blankets, just for the ride. Just until they could get her to the hospital. Or the authorities. Or someone who could help. They didn't even make it halfway before the sirens came. When Caldwell heard the faint cry from the back, the muffled, unmistakable cry of a baby, his entire demeanor changed. He stepped back, hand on his holster. "What's in the trunk?" Darius tried to explain. Calmly. Honestly. But Caldwell wasn't hearing explanations. He was feeling guilty. He was seeing criminals. Not a family. Backup was called. Imani begged him not to open it like that. Not with a weapon. But Caldwell flung the trunk open. And saw the baby girl. Just a week old. Sleeping soundly. Warm. Breathing. Unharmed. And then, in front of his daughter, in front of passing cars, in front of the world, he put Darius Bennett in handcuffs. Charged him with endangerment. Separated Naomi from her mother. And called Child Protective Services. It took just 10 minutes to destroy what took a lifetime to build. A father's dignity. A mother's voice. A child's trust in safety. And it all started because a black family tried to help a baby no one else wanted. The media picked it up 2 days later. Only after the hospital confirmed that the baby was healthy. Only after nurses verified that the trunk, padded, ventilated, insulated, was safer in that heat than the back seat. Only after Alea, suffering from postpartum psychosis, was found in a public park, dazed and mumbling, clutching her stomach and asking for her child. They had done everything right. And yet, they were treated like fugitives. Imani told reporters, "We didn't hide her because we were ashamed. We protected her because we cared." Body cam footage showed it all. Darius, compliant. Imani, trembling but composed. Naomi, whispering to herself in the back seat, "Please don't take Daddy." Within a week, Darius's law firm filed suit, not just for wrongful arrest, but for racial profiling, for emotional distress, for unlawful detainment of a minor, and most of all, for being seen as dangerous first and human second. It wasn't just about their family anymore. Other black parents began coming forward. Other stories. Other stops. Other moments when fear disguised itself as procedure. And for the first time in his career, Officer Caldwell was placed under full investigation. He resigned within 3 months. No charges were filed, but the city paid millions in a settlement. And something changed. The department began reviewing roadside protocols. Cultural sensitivity training became mandatory, and a new policy was introduced. No assumption. No judgment. Every stop must begin with humanity. As for the Bennetts, they adopted Alea's baby girl. Named her Hope. Naomi calls her, "my little sister who came from the stars." Darius never wore the same suit again. He bought a new one. Navy, crisp, with a gold tie. Because now, he doesn't just argue cases. He speaks. To law schools. To police academies. To Congress. And Imani. She now leads a neonatal education project, teaching young mothers in at-risk communities how to care, protect, and survive. They turned pain into purpose, assumption into action, one roadside stop into a movement. Life lesson from this story: never underestimate the damage of assumption. And never forget, sometimes, the baby they thought you were hiding is the future you're trying to protect. If this story moved you, share it. Let the world know that justice is not about revenge. It's about truth. And sometimes, the loudest cry comes from the trunk of a forgotten system. Subscribe to Crime Files Uncovered for true stories that challenge perception and reveal the strength of those most misunderstood.